Okay, Dr. TPS, I would like to know from you that what is your opinion about management in a simple manner? What is your view towards management, towards a good management, and I would request you to put it in the frame of education. How can how a person be a good management head? So over to you.
Namaskaram, Aishwarya, and Namaskaram, Saumya and Ritu. I am from Hyderabad. I am Dr. TPS. I am with Aishwarya on many platforms. We keep meeting once in a while. It's a wonderful question. Education management. I have a small book called Life Made Simple, which I authored when I was in Delhi, maybe 15 years back, in which I wrote one small portion which is called management. What is management? Amandram aksharam nasti, nasti moolam anaushadam, ayogya purusho nasti, yojagaha tatra durlabaha. This is a book which can be written. It says no one is useless. Everybody is useful. Amandram aksharam nasti. There is no single letter which is useless. But when I use letters in the proper way, I get a beautiful word. Words are put in nice fashion, it becomes poetry. I can also make words and put in such a style that becomes a scolding also. So it's the way I put things together makes things better. So what is management? Management is putting right people in the right style, right places, making them to become active. Amandram aksharam nasti. There is no letter which is good or bad. Nasti moolam anaushadam. There is no root or leaf or flower which is useless. Everything is useful. I am from an Ayurvedic family. When we look around, we know this is medicine, this is medicine. We can never clear the garden. Nasti moolam anaushadam. Ayogya purusho nasti. There is no single individual who is bad. Putting them in the right place is what is essentially required. I'll tell you, this is lacking probably maximum in education. I was executive director of an engineering college, being 20 years in the space department, working with the gadgets. When we go to engineering college, we see professors, teachers who never had any practical experience, and they are creating professionals. So what is happening? Education has become such a place, if you don't know anything also, you can become a teacher. In government, okay, little bit, but if you look at the whole scenario of education, I suggest people to look at two beautiful series which came in Netflix, which is called the Kota Factory. Another one in Amazon Prime, which is called the Crash Course. You will know what is happening in education up to 12th class. Go to university and colleges. Most of the people are having a degree PhD because the university demands PhD, but they don't do research at all. The quality of research is too bad. I heard Saumya mentioning about new education policy and all that. I don't know whether how many people who wrote that. Unfortunately, it is my previous boss who was chairman for that, Kasturi Rangan. We worked together. I worked in the headquarters when he was the chairman. I was there in the deputy in the program planning and project management. I don't know how many of people have read about Swami Vivekananda's dream on education. India, my eternal India. If anybody who works in India on education must read at least 13 pages from that book. And you will know the concept of Indian education was so strong, and we recommended today in the new education policy to follow some other country where education concept itself is in a different style. It has to be local. And the new education policy says you have to learn language which is locally available, and you must look at the local requirement. And but the new education policy is proud of copying it from some other country. What a conflict and contradiction. When new education policy came into force, I was called for lectures. Probably I must have given hundreds of lectures in universities and different colleges. I remember I gave one of the first college in the South India, which started in Kerala under the Britishers. 3 principals of that college got snake bite and died. You imagine such a place, such a time when Britishers started the first printing press and a college there. I beautifully spoke about the concept of education. And at the Thanksgiving, everybody said Dr. TPS spoke nicely about NEP. I said I did not speak anything on NEP. Everything was on Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan's education policy. See, we speak about something which is new without even understanding what was existing in India. So, look at what Swami Vivekananda said, a great philosopher, great spiritual leader. Look at what Mahatma Gandhi talked about education. Look at what Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan spoke. What happened? Nothing got implemented. It's like UNDP started, United Nations Development Program started some time back, and nothing has implemented. Now you start a new policy called SDG and speak about SDG, do a lot of webinars and conferences without even understanding what was the place where we started. This is what the problem is. You have to be deep inside, understand the concept of India. Indian education, I keep saying, is a great political management. Assume that all the 10th class students don't get admission in 12th class. If everybody fails, that is what the quality of education is. But still people are made to pass, because if 18 or 17, 15, 16 years of age children fail in schools and then start wandering in the society, you can imagine 25% of the Indian community will be on the roads. Don't you think there will be a great riot in India? So what is done? Everybody is made to go into colleges so that they are arrested in college. So I keep saying Indian education system is like a soft jail, where people are put into jail and teachers are wardens. They need not have a high qualification, no creativity. Bharatiya Shastram, Indian tradition says the ministry for education or the goddess for education is Saraswati. And Saraswati's husband is Brahma. Brahma is the god of research, creativity. So, if your creativity is not inside your heart, the education what is given as reproductive job by the teachers, not productive, not creative. The teachers are not creative. So what is the problem in India? Teachers are not creative. They are only copy machines. Photocopying is the job done in classrooms. There is nothing happening in the classroom. Actually, education should give only 75% mark. Distinction is given 75%. Suppose somebody is getting 99%. That means the question paper is not creative. Because you copied 10 years back question paper, gave the same thing, asked the children to write it. Why? No new question paper is created. And what is being done in the classroom? Preparing children for writing examination. Is it the right management job? The objective and scope is lost. What is the purpose of education is not understood by teachers, not understood in the classroom. Dr. TPS was a professor in an engineering college. I never took attendance. I said those who want to come and attend in my class, I am not going to give any attendance. My attendance is after my class, you write a note and send it to me. If that pressy writing is eligible for you to give marks, I will give you marks. That's it. We have physical attendance required. The other day also I was in an engineering college in Delhi for giving orientation program. Before that I was then one of the colleges in Hyderabad for an orientation program. The professional colleges also has become not practical classes. It is only giving attendance. 75% attendance. Minimum requirement. And university will sell it. Education has become a business. So, education has become a business in which you are not worried about the product. Even if you make a pickle at home, and want to sell it, somebody will taste it and see whether that pickle is not good, you don't pay. But education, people pay money in advance, and the product which comes out as students who are given a certificate and nothing happens. Do you know India sell yoga in the whole world? And yoga is to make mindfulness. I am a meditation master from Himalayas. Swami Rama is my guru. It is not mindfulness, mind emptiness. Some buffalo told mindfulness, everybody is following mindfulness. The mind should not be full, it is to be empty to become a samadhi, not meditation. Meditation is a wrong word. So everything has become packaged selling product. And that is why we want to manage. Actually, managing itself is a wrong word. I don't know cooking, I manage. I don't know teaching, I manage. So I managed my class. I managed my life. Why do you manage? Don't you want to celebrate it? Don't you want to administer it? Medicine is never managed. Medicine is administrated. Collector is called a district administrator, not the manager. We have to pull resources, not market yourself. But what happens today? The marketing people have more demand. I don't know how Aishwarya landed upon me and then I am called here. Very rarely I get lectures because I am not a very popular person, right? And I scold sometimes. Aishwarya is my son. So I keep scolding him. Not 12:04 I was here. 12 o'clock, before 12, 3 minutes back I joined. 12:04 the program did not start. I said no, discipline, first thing. I happens to be in Prime Minister's office. I worked 20 years. Not even a single moment I was late in my office. 20 years in government service. It's a record. I don't attend marriages. I don't attend death ceremony without skipping my office. I will apply leave and go. So that self-discipline is what is yoga. Yama, niyama. Niyama is self-discipline. Yama is non-violence, which Mahatma Gandhi followed. So reaching in the first step itself, you can become world famous. Niyama is self-discipline. You can become good. But today what do? We finish all the yoga. Oh, I know yoga. What is that? Third step you jumped without even knowing first and second step. Yama, niyama, asana. Asana is what people think as yoga. All monkey's job is done. And you say that I am a yoga acharya. What yoga acharya? You did not even understand the 8 steps. So it is not managing. It is being. It is not feeling. It is being. It is not showing. It is being. And being is important. I know. I must be able to say, I know what is education. I know India. We must learn India. How many people know India? How many people know to write whole Ramayana? If you read, there is a Ekasloki Ramayana. Look at Ekasloki Ramayana. The whole Ramayana can be briefly written as 4 slokas. I made an English translation of that slokas also. English DrTPS Ramayana. You look at, you will see on the YouTube. Ekasloki Ramayana in English. See, it was traditionally taught how to write comprehension. Was part of our Vedic tradition. Today, every examination, competitive exam, we have this. On this day, 2018, that means 4 years back, I was in America talking in a church very close to Chicago where Vivekananda landed on what is gratitude. 2018, this day, that means 18/11/04 is the code for that. That's how I number YYMMC Daddy. You look at 18/11/04 DrTPS, you will see that lecture on YouTube. I said India had a different view on gratitude. We don't keep on saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Our gratitude is entirely different. You know the message of Vivekananda's education? It is not to be shown. It is being inside that. What is that is required. I can speak like this. I have a lot of questions whether Vivekananda is great or Ramakrishna is great. Tell me, Aishwarya, whether Vivekananda is great or Ramakrishna is great. No, you are not audible. You are muted.
I think I am audible, and I have never read details.
This
But
is-
yeah, some of times I got a bit information about Vivekananda, so I knew him, and he is a good person. He is educational era and all. So I think I can I can go with him.
No problem. What happens is, not even Aishwarya, 150th birth anniversary of Vivekananda, I produced a book called Raising of India by the Race of India. I was giving awards to some
Okay,
students.
Dr. TPS, I would like to switch this question to both of our guests. That is, madam, who will who is your preference? Like, is Vivekananda your preference or Radha Krishna?
You're asking me, Aishwarya?
I would like to know that who is the one you admires most. Like, is Vivekananda the one or Radha Krishna?
Ramakrishna, not Radhakrishna, Ramakrishna.
Ramakrishna.
Rama.
Aishwarya, I can't choose between the two because both were extraordinary philosophers and seers, deep thinkers. I mean, Swami Vivekananda was a legend in his lifetime, and his education philosophy and his philosophy about uniting religions and his discourses on Hindu Dharma and the unity of all religions are extraordinary, and so was Ramakrishna. His contribution to education. There's so many Ramakrishna mission schools today which are taking forward his philosophy. I think it's unfair to compare the two. Both were extraordinary philosophers, great sons of India, and as an Indian, I'm proud that their legacy still lives on, and it's up to us to carry forward their philosophy and their extraordinary teachings. And up to you all, the young generation. I'm sure Mr. TP agrees with me that you can't choose between the two. They both were extraordinary in their own way.
And I would like to share the same question for you, madam. What is your opinion about
Really, I would like to thank Doctor. Give us a question, mind-blowing question. Really, we nowadays we need it in our education system. Yes, Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahansa both are very, legends, philosopher. Really, they brought new change in our education system. And so, really, it's honor to be with you on this national panel. And really, I really want to continue. I really want to share your views and really want to hear you. It's really pleasure. The way you are, talking about Ayurveda and everything. It's like it seems that really we want to work from our roots rather than on, rote learning. We can say we are not going to make a robots. We are going to make our children as a human from inside what they feel. Thank you very much, sir. I really honored to be with you and hear you. Say that really, Aishwarya. Really,
I was with the Vivekananda Institute for Human Excellence for 12 years,
yes.
where I used to have 100 children in the morning, 100 children in the evening, every day. That's why I have got millions of students from Hyderabad. I'll tell you the name Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Hamsa means weightless. The bird which has got very weightless. Paramahamsa means the extreme weightless person. So Ramakrishna was the most simplest person in the world. And he could produce one student. Because of him, Ramakrishna became famous. If Vivekananda was not there, Ramakrishna will not be known to this world at all. So it is a great example. You have to be so simple and create most happiest. Anandam is Viveka Anandam. Anandam is happiness. Vivekam is not blind happiness. When you listen to music, you are happy, blindly happy, without even understanding the inside meaning. Vivekam is you have knowledge which can discriminate good and bad. Vivekam, Viveka, Vivechana Buddhi. Discriminative ability should be there. And if a teacher can produce a student with the discriminative power to understand what is happiness in life, we are the most happiest people. And that is an example of a student-teacher relationship. So every teacher should understand the role of teacher and student should be understood like this. And we have another great example of a role of a teacher and student. And that is Kaudilya, Arthashastra, who wrote. He picked up somebody from the roadside and made him as the Chakravarti. That means a teacher can make somebody as the greatest person in the world. Got it? So if you are not able to do that and your aspirations are that, I am sure we create a generation. 25% of India is happy. India will become the most happiest place in the world. But you know, India's happiness index is much worse than most of the other neighboring countries which are worse than India. 168 for India. Pakistan has got less than 100. What is that great thing we have to claim? It is not growth, it is not development. It is the happiness which we have to create in our people. If we are not happy, we are creating a distress situation. So it needs to be understood. Education is in fivefold development: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual. If all these can be done, the social will give you the materialistic requirement. Intellectual will tell you where to place yourself. That is what is essentially required. I can go on and on, but I don't think in a panel discussion I should not take more time.
Really, it's a pleasure to hear you. Do agree with me or not? Really, it's a pleasure to hear you. And today I came to know it's a lot of things. Being a teacher, we can learn a lot from you. Really, it's an honor and pleasure.
6 o'clock I have another meeting on which I am talking about the early childhood education. And that is being hosted by, like, an interview by the Global Foundation for Early Childhood Education and Research by Shirley Best. So this is what I am going to speak. Actually, 7 years back I started a program which is called, my trust is called Shiksha, SHIKSHA. I started a program called Shiksha Grandma Child Care Center, which I call it Shiksha Grandma Gurukulam. Actually, education policy came now. 7 years back I started age 3 to grade 3. Students should have only craft work, only activity based learning. Cutting and pasting is fine. While cutting and pasting, I'll ask them to cut and paste based on some category. They will be ready to read because they want to categorize. So I give them newspapers and make them to make posters. These are the jobs which is done. And I have a beautiful concept of how a classroom has to be set. Without the partition, without separating classes. Age 3 to grade 3. Like a grandma. How do a grandmother will take care of the children? That has to be age 3 to grade 3, where social skill is being taught, craft is being taught, creativity is being taught. I don't know where you are from. Ritu, if you are ready to host me for a month, I will come and stay with you. Give me food to eat minimum and a place to sleep, and with a little internet. I will invest all the time to create your school like a grandma child care center. And I guarantee you, after 20 years, my children will become global leaders. That's a guarantee which I do. You can see one of my program which is called Icon. Icon is looking at very carefully through the keyhole. 8th class children, the worst from the village, I picked up 90 of them. 45 girls, 45 boys. Where they were in Malayalam medium, all the parents and teachers said they are useless. I said, wonderful, give it to me. I will make experiment with them. I taught them how to speak English by taking them to Goa beach. This is practical learning. 8th class children, they have fear for talking in English. Took them to Goa, asked them to interview the international tourism people who are all flooded there. Evening they have to give a report to which fellow from which country. They learn geography, they learn history, they learn language, they learn culture, everything from the beach. 3 days. It is not 3 days they learn. 3 days they learn the technique of learning. So we are not teaching them the technique of learning. I think it should start